We have a fun one for you today, folks. We're going to change this accelerator pedal and the accelerator pedal position sensor in this old LB7 Duramax. Generally, when you buy these, they come in one solid unit, so you just replace the pedal and the sensor together. I believe you can buy the sensor separate, but it's cheap enough to buy all together that you might as well. It's cheaper and it's easier. Now, the actual changing of this is super easy because there's only two bolts. One here at the bottom, and then one up here at the top. And then, of course, there's one clip for the sensor. And that's it. Super easy. So I'll show you how to do that here. So how do you know if you need to change your accelerator position sensor? So here's a couple symptoms. We'll tell you exactly what happened to me. So it was a very slow process, or very slow, I don't know, degraded over time very slowly. I noticed this summer, a couple months ago, that I had a little bit of hesitation when I was accelerating. Like I'd be going, I'd start ripping through gears, get a third gear, and I'd be like, boom, and then acceleration would kick in, and I'd take off again, and it would happen. Like it would stutter every once in a while. And if this was a gas vehicle, I'd say that I'm losing spark somewhere, or that it's time to update my ignition system or do a little overhaul of my spark plugs or something. But since this is a diesel, no spark plug system. And the thing about these newer diesels is that it's not throttle driven. It's not wire driven. You don't have a throttle cable going to your throttle plate, letting in more air, which is telling your throttle position sensor how much fuel to add in. This is all 100% sensor driven. And so what the sensor is if I read it correctly, there's about 3 resistors in here. According to the online forums, if 2 of those go out, you should be throwing codes, but mine didn't throw any codes whatsoever. It just started hesitating, and then when it finally went out, I was out camping, hesitated really bad a couple of times, and then it wouldn't switch out of 5th gear. It would just lug in 5th gear up a hill, and you know, I got a camper on back, and I have it tuned to my tow haul mode, so when I would normally expect it to downshift from 5th gear to 4th gear, it would just lugging through, and then it would slam into 4th gear and take off again like it normally would. But then the pedal just quit all freaking together while I was driving. Luckily, you know, it wasn't a hairy area where there's a bunch of traffic. I just happened to be close enough to a pull-off to where I can glide in, and I was just sitting there smashing the pedal. Nothing was happening. The truck was idling fine like it was in park, warming up in the morning, and I was a little stumped at first, so I just happened to be in a spot that had a little bit of cell phone reception, so I looked it up on the forums, and it took me a little bit to figure it out. But someone said, you know, if that happens to you, it could be your acceleration pedal. One way to check it is to cycle your engine, and usually by the 3rd or 4th start, it'll turn back, or your sensor will turn back on, and everything should work just fine. And it did. It got me home, and then the pedal was dead after that, so I ordered a new one of these online, swapped it out, and it works great. Other symptoms besides hesitating is it'll have rough idle. You can produce some excessive smoke out of your tailpipe when these things start to go bad, and it will give you poor fuel mileage. The benefits, what I've noticed so far, is that the idle is a lot smoother. My cold starts have a lot less exhaust, and are a lot less exhaust smoke. And it's just less smoke in general. Normally when I'm just sitting in idle after it's warmed up for a while, I got a slight little haze of smoke, of which I've always attributed to an injector, and it probably still is the injectors as well, but not so much now. It just idles smooth, it accelerates smooth, it transitions through all the gears nice and smooth, and that's because your computer knows where your throttle position is. And that's what this does. It tells your ECM where your throttle position is so that it knows what the fuel air mixture should be, and so it can do its thing and get you where you need to go safely. If you're hesitating, if you have a hesitation when you're switching through gears, if you get stuck at one speed, you can't go past a certain speed, if there's just dead spots, like you're accelerating, and then say from here to here, there's just like no acceleration, but here there is all the way down, then your resistor is going bad. Poor fuel mileage, rough idle, all signs that your pedal is going bad and needs to be changed out. So, also you can test this, and I'll show this in a little bit. You can test this if it starts to hesitate and you're starting to notice some of those symptoms. Go ahead and throw on whatever scanner you got I got the PPE Accelerator, and it'll tell me my throttle position placement. So it'll tell you the percentage of your throttle at whatever your position is when you're depressing the pedal. It'll give you a percentage. So you can tell if there's a dead spot in there. If, say, it drops out at 13% and all of a sudden picks up at 25%, well, you know you got a resistor that's dying on you and you should probably swap that out. If it only goes up to 50%, even though you have that pedal smashed all the way down, well, your resistor is probably going out and you need to change that, and you should change it quick. It's super easy, and it just happens over time. Like this truck that I'm driving in is a 20-year-old truck, and this thing's been put to use. You can tell the pedals got some nice wear and tear on it, and the nice thing about buying the whole kit and caboodle, the whole package, is you get brand new springs and everything too. And one thing I noticed is that the new pedal definitely has stiffer springs. It feels nicer under the foot, I guess is what I'm trying to say, on top of having a sensor that works correctly. All right. First thing I gotta do is pull this clip back. Okay, we got full range with the new pedal, so it seems to be working pretty good. Okay, got my other pedal plugged in. It's not doing anything. So that's going to do it for this video, folks. It's just a real quick one, just like, hey, FYI, you might just have a acceleration pedal position sensor going out on you. So, hope you found it useful. Hope it helped you in some way. If it did, smash that like button, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.